So, hello everyone, and welcome to another live English lesson. As you remember, last time we had a look at certain English-speaking countries, and we did some exercises. And we also, in addition to that, we studied the difference between have and have got and how to use them, and we did some exercises. So today, inshallah, we're going to continue doing certain exercises that we left from last time, and in addition to that, we're going to study the WH questions. Of course, there will be exercises. So concerning have and have got, we said, as you remember, that we can use them, both of the expressions, to refer to the same meaning. We said that have and have got can be used in certain cases to refer to certain things. Do you remember? We said that we use have and have got to talk about possession. When you say that you possess something, that you have something, we said that we can use have and have got to speak about relationships. And we said that we can use them to speak about illnesses and characteristics. What was the difference between have and have got? Do you remember? We said there is a slight difference between have and have got concerning the use of each one of them. So what was the difference? Do you remember? Do you remember what did we say? Or what we said? Because this is not a question. Do you remember what was the difference between have and have got? We said that the difference between them is that we usually use have got in informal contexts, right? We use have got when we are speaking to others, like spoken language. And have is more common in written language and in formal contexts, right? So this is the slight difference between have and have got. But all in all, they have the same meaning. And we said that we can use them to speak about these things: possession, relationships, illnesses, and characteristics, right? Of course, we mentioned that have got is more common in informal contexts. And we talked about how to form questions. Do you remember? We said that if we have a sentence that contains the verb have only, so in this case, when we want to form a question, we use the auxiliary verb do. Why? We treat it just like it is a sentence in the present simple tense. So for example, I or you have a cat. If I change it into a question, I should say, do you have a cat? Just like that. And we said that if we have a sentence that contains the combination have got, so in this case, when we want to form a question out of this affirmative sentence, we should use the auxiliary verb have. That is to say, we should treat the sentence as a sentence in the present perfect tense. In this case, we should start the interrogative sentence of the present perfect tense with the auxiliary verb have. And of course, it depends on the subject, whether it is have or has. But when we say have, we mean the verb to have, okay? So, for example, you have got a cat. You have got a cat. If this is an affirmative sentence that contains the combination have got, in this case, when we want to form a question, we should say, have we got a cat? Have we got a cat? Okay, so and we talked about them and we formed the questions, if you remember. And we said that we can use them, have and have got, in the present simple tense. That we can never use have or have got in the past. Like it's wrong to say, I had got a cat. This is wrong. We don't use have got in the past tense, right? We did this exercise about Julie's bedroom quickly, so today we are left with another one, with another exercise. Here there is this passage about Peter. We have to read it and then we will have some questions. Now I'm going to read this text and then afterwards you're going to read it again and we will see the questions. So let us begin. Peter is a 10-year-old boy and he lives in Canada. He has got two brothers, Mike and Paul. They are 13 years old. They like playing video games together. Their mother does not like it. Peter has got blue eyes and brown hair. His brothers are twins. They have got brown eyes and brown hair. Their mother, Anne, likes baking cakes and watching television. Her favorites are cooking shows. Sometimes she tells her sons to come help her make cakes. She hasn't got a daughter, she has got two nieces, but she does not see them often. When her nieces are visiting, they all bake a cake and eat it together. Peter has got a father, and he likes going to handball matches with him. They always have fun. They have got a favorite team that they always watch on television. Luckily, there are two TVs in their house. So now, who can read it? Who can read this passage, this short passage? Mustafa Khalid.
Peter is 10 years old and he lives in Canada. He has got two brothers, Mike and Paul. They are 13 year old. They like playing video games together. Their mother does not like it. Peter has got blue eyes and brown hair. His brothers are twins. They have got brown eyes and brown hair. Their mother, Annie, likes baking cakes and watching television. Her favorites are cooking shows. Sometimes she tells her sons to come help her make cakes. She hasn't got a daughter. She has got two nieces, but she does not see them often. When her nieces are visiting, they all bake a cake and eat it together. Peter has got a father, and he likes going to handball matches with him. They always have fun. They have got a favorite team that they always watch on television. Luckily, there are two TVs in their house.
Thank you. Now, who else can read it? Who else can read this passage? Nora can.
Yes. Peter is 10 years old and he lives in Canada. He has got two brothers, Mike and Paul. They are 13 years old. They like playing video games together. Their, uh, their mother does not like it. Peter has got blue eyes and brown hair. His brothers are twins. They have got brown eyes and brown hair. Their mother, Anne, likes baking cakes and watching television. Her favorites are cooking shows. Cooking shows. Sometimes she tells her sons to come help her make cakes. She hasn't got a daughter. She has got two nieces. She does not see them often. When her nieces are visiting, they all bake a cake and eat it together. Peter has got a father and he likes going to handball matches with him. They always have fun. They have got a favorite team they always watch on television locally. There are two TVs in their house.
Yes, thank you. By the way, there's a mistake here. It should be but it's written B. So this is but. Okay, who else can read the text? Who else can read the text? What about other students? Are you still sleeping? As I always keep telling you, participation means marks. No participation, no marks. Period. So can anyone? Hanan Ghazwan. Okay.
Peter is 10 years old boy, and he lives in Canada. He has got two brothers, Mike and Paul. They are 13 years old. They like playing video games together. Their mother does not like it. Peter has got blue eyes and brown hair. His brothers are twins. They have got brown eyes and brown hair. Their mother Annie likes baking cakes and watching television. Her favorites are cooking shows. Sometimes she tells her sons to come help her make cakes. She hasn't got a daughter. She has got two nieces. She doesn't see them often. When her nieces are visiting, they all bake a cake and eat it together. Peter has got a father, and he likes going to handball matches with him. They always have fun. They have got a favorite team that they always watch on television. Luckily, there are two TVs in their house.
Yes, good, thank you. So, here in this text, can you find the verb have or the combination have got? Do we have any have got here, Mustafa?
He has got two brothers.
Yes, that's good. This is number one. Do we have another one?
Peter has got blue eyes.
That's right. Do we have another one?
They have got brown eyes.
That's right. That's right. So do we have another one? What about
She
others?
hasn't got a daughter,
Yes, that's
and she has
right.
got nieces.
Two nieces. That's right.
Two nieces.
What else?
Peter has got a father.
Yes, that's right.
They always have fun, but I don't think it's.
This is have. This is the verb have.
Yeah.
They
They always have
always
fun.
have fun. That's what. Yes, and
They
then we
have got
have
a favorite
they.
team.
Yes, that's right. So now let us, that's good, Mustafa. Now let us answer the questions. Has Anne got any daughter? I want someone to answer this question with a full sentence. Has Anne got any daughter? Mustafa?
No, she hasn't.
No, she hasn't. Hanan,
She
what do you say?
No, she doesn't have any daughter.
She
doesn't have.
doesn't have. Okay. Mustafa, you said she hasn't. لا تغيرها. Because you are right. No, she hasn't. When you have the verb got, have got, the combination have got, you don't need to use doesn't, right?
When we answer the question, we use the grammar of has, have, and has, not only answer.
Yes, the grammatical rules of the present perfect. When you have got, when you have got in a question, when you answer it, you follow the rules of the grammatical rules of present perfect. So, has Anne got any daughter? You were right. You said no, she hasn't. Or you can say this is a short answer, or you can say no, Anne hasn't got a daughter, and that's right. And the other question: how many televisions has their house got? And this is what do we call this question? This is a double-edged question, right? And we are going to see what is a double-edged question. Mustafa,
They have got two televisions.
they have got two televisions. What about others? What do you say? What about other students? Let's see. Their house has got two televisions, since here the subject of this interrogative sentence is the word television. So, oh sorry, the house. The house is the subject, their house. So you can say their house has got two televisions, or as you said, they have got two televisions in their house. So both of them are right. Okay, now the other one, have the boys got a favorite handball team? Have the boys got a favorite handball team? What should we say here? What about other students? Mustafa.
Yes, they have.
Yes, they have. Or you can say they have got a favorite handball team. Yes, they have got a favorite handball team, and that is right. So now we ended everything about the have and have got, and now we move to the double-edged questions. What is a double-edged question? What is meant by double-edged questions? I can answer this question. This is so easy. We have studied the double-edged words, if you remember, and now we are studying the double-edged questions. We said that double-edged words can be used in the double-edged questions, and we talked a lot about the questions in English. So now, what is meant by double-edged questions, and when do we use the double-edged questions, and how to form the double-edged questions? What is meant by the double-edged questions? Don't you have any answer? Okay, let us see what is meant by double-edged questions. See now the difference between the following questions. If you say, does your father have a car? Or if you say, what does your father have? What is the difference between these two questions? Is there a difference between question number one and question number two? Does your father have a car? Or what does your father have? Mustafa?
In the first sentences اللي هيسأل هيسأل على شيء محدد وهو السيارة، بس باستخدام ال WH question هيسأل عن شيء مجهول.
Yes, that is right. So what is the difference between the two questions? If I suppose that the second one is also asking about car, we know that he is asking about the car, but what's the difference? We said that you're right, Mustafa, you're right, but what's the difference between these two types of question? We said that, for example, the first question we can answer it by saying yes, he has, while the second sentence, second question, we can answer it without the question mark. Sorry, this is wrong. We can say he has a car, right? So what is the difference between them? We said that this is, the first one is, what do we call it? Yes, no question, right? Well, this is a double-edged question. So what is the difference between yes, no question and double-edged questions? What is the difference? We have talked a lot about it. Difference is that double-edged questions do, I mean, they, if I ask you this question, does your father have a car? You can answer it by saying yes, he has, or no, he doesn't have, right? I don't need any other information from you. So this is the yes no question. It doesn't demand details. It just wants to know if it is yes or not, right? While the double-edged questions demands information, demands details. And that's why we will see what it is called. So all in all, double-edged questions are questions starting with double-edged words. This is the difference. I mean, this is how we differentiate between them from its formula. And when we said that it demands details, it demands information, it means that we should call it information questions. Is it clear? الأسئلة ال yes no question هي السؤال يتطلب الإجابة بنعم أو لا, yes or no. That's it. ماكو أي إضافات. اللي يسألك yes no question ما يطلب منك أي إضافات ثانية. أما ال double-edged questions تحتاج توضيح, تطلب معلومات. اللي يسأل double-edged question معناها يريد يطلب معلومة من اللي يسأله. تمام? So this is the difference. For example, we said that, of course, double-edged questions seeks information about qualities, times, places, and blah, 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 right? So this is the difference. And this is so important because if you want to ask about information, you cannot use the yes, no questions that we use. I mean, the original interrogative sentences that we used to form when we were studying the tenses, if you remember. We cannot use them to seek information. So now the question is how to form the double-edged questions. We know that double-edged questions are formed by using double-edged words, but how to form them? And what are the double-edged words? Do you remember when we studied the double-edged words? What were the double-edged words? The W-H words, do you remember them? Mustafa?
What,
Yes.
where,
Yes.
when, who,
Exactly.
and whose.
Yes, we didn't study whose, right?
Yes. And I think how.
How, yes. How is also considered a double-edged word.
Yes.
So they are what, when, where, if you remember them, who, whom, which, whose, and why, and of course how. So when to use what? We said that we use what, or what is used with things, to talk about things, inanimate things, right? And when we said that we use it to about or to ask about time. What about where? When to use it? We use when to
To ask
ask about
a place.
places. Yes, exactly. To ask about locations. And who? When to use who? To ask about
People
Hanan,
or
people.
persons.
Yes.
Persons, people.
Yes, exactly. And what about whom? What about whom? We use whom to speak about, or sorry, to ask about people, but if we are asking about people who are the object of the verb of a sentence, they are in the position of an object, not the subject, right? That's when we use whom. The other one, which, is used to ask about or to make or to make things clear about choices. To ask about choices. What is meant by choices? Choices. What is meant by choices? Hanan?
خيارات.
Yes, خيارات. And whose, we use whose to ask about possession, right? When it is followed by a noun that we want to know who possesses that thing that is referred to by the noun. Why is used to ask about reasons and causes, and of course how is used to ask about manner and process. Right? This is so important. You will have them later on, inshallah, but this is so important. You have to know when to use each one of them. Okay? Now, we have two ways of forming the double-edged questions, whether with an auxiliary verb or without an auxiliary verb. The first way of forming double-edged questions, when you have an auxiliary verb, you have to use an auxiliary verb. It's when you start the question with a double-edged word that should be followed by the auxiliary verb, of course, and then we should have the subject of the sentence and then the main verb, the original verb, and then of course the complement and blah blah blah. But we should not forget what is the last thing of question that we should not forget, Hanan?
Question mark.
Yes, the question mark. And what are the auxiliary verbs that we use here? It depends on the tense itself, whether it is verb be or verb do or have. Depends on the tense of the original sentence. For example, if we have a sentence, if we want to form a question based on a sentence that is in the present continuous tense, so in this case, we should use the auxiliary verb be. And of course, it depends on the subject, whether it is, are, or am. And if we want to form a double-edged question out of a sentence that is in the present simple tense, we should use the auxiliary verb do. If we want to form a double-edged question based on a sentence that is in the past simple, so in this case we should use did as an auxiliary verb, and so on. So it depends on the original sentence. This is the first way of forming double-edged questions. We start with double-edged words and then the auxiliary verb. Of course, it depends on the tense itself. And then we should have the subject, which should be followed by the main verb of the sentence. And of course, after it, we may have the complement, but you should not forget the question mark. This is the first way. Second way of forming double-edged questions. Now, before that, let us see these examples. What do you study? This is a question, a double-edged question that is formed by following the first way. We have a double-edged word, and then the auxiliary verb to, and then the subject you, and then the verb study. We don't have a complement, so we end the question by a question mark. So this is a double-edged question that is in the present simple tense. What do you study, right? So what about this one? What are you doing? Of course, double-edged word, an auxiliary verb, subject, and then the verb. So what is the tense here? Hanan?
Present continuous.
Yes, exactly. Present continuous tense. Now this is another sentence. What did you play yesterday? A double-edged word, an auxiliary verb, subject, verb, and then complement and a question mark. What is this? What is the tense here, Mustafa?
Past simple.
Past simple tense. Exactly. And now this one. What have you written? What have you written? Of course, double-edged word, auxiliary verb. Mustafa?
Present perfect.
Yes, exactly. Present perfect. And so on. Right? So now it's clear. Double-edged word, auxiliary verb, subject, and blah blah blah. Right? Now we move to the other way of forming double-edged questions, which is without an auxiliary verb. In this way, usually we use these question words: who, what, which, and whose. And this is when we usually put the double-edged words instead of the subject. That you can see here, it's certain when double-edged words replace the subject. What is meant by replace? What is meant by replace? Replace. Hanan?
ممكن إنه نستبدل. استبدال.
Yes. So yes, when the double-edged words replace the subject, لما يعني نستبدل السبجect بالdouble-edged words. So when we put the double-edged words instead of the subject, this is when we can form double-edged word question, without an auxiliary verb. And this is the formula: double-edged word, and then we have the verb of the sentence, and then of course complement should be followed by a question mark. This is applicable with these question words, double-edged words: who, what, which, and whose. Right? This is so important. Like, for example, what happened to your father? What, a double-edged word, and then directly we have the verb, because here what replaces the subject, right? So what happened to your father? Who won the game? Whose phone is this? Whose phone is one part, and then the verb is this, right? So this is so important. And the last question, whose here takes or plays the role of an adjective. So whose phone is this? Okay, however, this is so I think it's easy, but we should pay attention that double-edged words, and when we use them in double-edged questions to form double-edged questions, we, in this case, seek information. So a double-edged question cannot be answered with yes or no. This is so wrong. Okay, now we move to the exercises. Complete the questions with the double-edged words. It depends on the meaning, of course. So, do you live? I live in London. Which question word should we use here? Mustafa?
Where do you live?
Where do you live? Okay, we'll see. The second one is that girl. She is my sister. What should we put here? Which question word? Mustafa again.
Who's that girl?
Whose? You mean who is?
Who?
Yes.
Who is that girl?
Yes, who is that girl? We'll see. The other one, do you go to school? You go to school by bus. Which question word that we can use to ask about manner or process? Hanan?
How do you go to school?
How do you go to school? We will see. Do banks open at 8 o'clock? Mustafa?
When do banks open?
When do banks open? We will see. Are you wearing that coat? Mustafa?
Why? Why are you wearing that coat?
Yes, why? So pay attention to the tone. If this was a question, sorry, a yes/no question without a double-edged word, I would say, are you wearing that coat? But if I change it into a double-edged question, so I'm going to say, why are you wearing that coat? So do you notice the difference in tone? This is so important in a spoken language. So the first one was where, and you were right. The second one was who. Who's that girl? She's my sister. And the third one, how do you go to school? When do banks open? And why are you wearing that coat? So you were right. Let us move to another exercise. Now you will have these answers and you should write double-edged questions about the words involved. They went to Spain. Now, what should you say? What should be the question? What should the question be? Mustafa?
Where they are, or where they travel.
The answer is they went to Spain. So how to form a double-edged question out of this answer, out of this affirmative sentence? And of course, this is an affirmative sentence in the past simple tense. We said that we can use double-edged questions with two ways.
Where
Here
where
we should use
where
it.
did they go?
Yes, that's right. Where did they go? They went to Spain. Okay, the second one. He writes novels. He writes novels. Hanan?
What does he write?
What does he write? Yes, that's right. Since we are, I mean, the bold we said that you should write questions about the words in bold. And since here the word in bold is novels, so we should be asking about things, right? So here he writes novels. So the question should be, what does he write? Since it's novels, so we should ask with what? Lacey likes football. You should ask about Lacey. So what should you say, Mustafa?
What does Lucy like?
What does Lacey like?
Lacey like.
See, this is the difference between here we have two
Or
sentences. See, the first one, Lacey likes football. You should ask about Lacey. And the other one, Lacey likes football. You should ask about football.
then
So what
in the first
is
sentences we can who does like football, and
we
the
said
second one,
that when a double-edged word replaces the subject, we can follow the second rule without an auxiliary verb. So you said and you are right, you said who likes football, right? Who likes football? Lacey likes football, right? Hi, Mustafa. Mustafa. Can you hear me, Mustafa? Maybe no, there's a problem maybe. However, since here the word in bold is Lacey, so it means that we should ask about Lacey. And we should replace Lacey, which is in this case, this word is in the position of a subject. So we can say, who likes football? Right? Who likes football? But the second one, Lacey likes football. Now we should ask about football. That's why we should say, what should we say here? Lacey likes football. We should ask about football. And we should say, what does Lacey like? Right? Now the other one, the girls watched a serial. What should the question be? What should the question be here for this sentence? The girls watched a serial. Now Mustafa left, and that's why no one is participating. What about others? They are still sleeping. As I always tell you, no participation, no mark. That's it. Hanan?
What did the girls watch?
What did the girls watch? What did the girls watch, right? And here the other one, he discovered the truth. What should we put here? Which one? What should the question be here? He discovered the truth. Hanan?
What did he discover?
What did he discover? Yes. So the first one was, where did they go? The second one, since we said that we are talking about novels, so it is, what does he write? The one, who likes football? Since we are asking about Lacey, the subject, so we should follow the second rule without an auxiliary verb. So we can say, who likes football? And the following, the other one, the next one, sorry, Lacey likes football, should be, what does Lacey like? The girls watched a serial. What did the girls watch? And the last one, what did he discover? Now we move to the other exercise. Write the correct WH words. Again, this is so easy. This is for your own benefit. I keep giving you exercises because this is for your own benefit. And I always tell you that these exercises are so important. You will see them in the exam, so pay attention. Is your math teacher Mr. Dundee? So, what is the question word that should be put here? Mustafa?
Who is your math teacher?
Yes, who is your math teacher? Okay, we'll see. Who's this cat? The blue one. We put here, we said that there is a WH word that can be used to ask about choices. Mustafa?
Whose?
No, not whose. To ask about choices. We have more than one cat, and I want to ask about. We will see. We will see it in a few moments. Now this one. Is my bag pack in the living room? The answer is in the living room. So, of course, these are short answers. Hanan?
Where is my backpack?
Yes, where is my backpack? We will see. Is Hannah doing? She is watching TV. What should we use here? Hanan?
What is Hannah doing?
Yes, what is Hannah doing? The other one is an engineer, Nora. These are short answers. Mustafa?
Who is an engineer?
Who is an engineer? Yes, engineer, sorry. Color is red. Now, what should we use here? If you don't know, we're going to see it. So no one participates for this one. The other one is that. That is an old coin. Is that? That is an old coin, Mustafa.
What is that?
What is that? And the last one? Are my shoes in the front of the door? In the front of the door, Mustafa?
Where?
Where? Okay, we'll see. So the first one, you said that it's who? That's right. Who is your math teacher? Mr. Dundee. The second one, we said that there is a question word that can be used to ask about choices, which is which. So which is his cat? The blue one, right? We have more than one cat, and you want to ask about his cat. Which one is his cat? So you can use which. The other one, where is my backpack? And you are right. The other one, what is Hannah doing? Of course, you are right. Who is an engineer? What color is the new bus? What color is the new bus? And what is that? That is an old coin. And where are my shoes? In the front of the door. We move to, now we are done with this exercise, we move to another one. Here we have a reading passage. We are going to read, and then we will have certain questions. So get ready. Judy is a young woman who absolutely adores dogs. She owns a papillion named Louis, a Chihuahua named Isabella, and Siberian Husky named Koda. Every weekend she takes her dogs to the dog park, where they love to run, play catch, and meet other dogs. When Judy took her pets to the park last Saturday, she almost lost poor little Louie. She was playing catch with Koda when she lost sight of Louie. In a panic, she started shouting his name and asked other dog owners if they saw her little papillion. After 30 minutes of searching, and with the help of one dog owner, she finally found him at the entrance of the dog park, near a small store that sells Louie's favorite treats. Judy was delighted when she found Louie and bought all three of her dogs their favorite treats. I'm going to read it again. Judy is a young woman who absolutely adores dogs. She owns a papillion named Louie, a Chihuahua named Isabella, and a Siberian Husky named Koda. Every weekend, she takes her dogs to the dog park, where they love to run, play catch, and meet other dogs. When Judy took her pets to the park last Saturday, she almost lost poor little Louie. She was playing catch with Koda when she lost sight of Louie. In a panic, she started shouting his name and asked other dog owners if they saw her little papillion. After 30 minutes of searching and one dog owner, she finally found him at the entrance of the dog park near a small store that sells Louie's favorite treats. Judy was delighted when she found Louie and bought all three of her dogs their favorite treats. Now, who can read it? Mustafa, of course.
Judy is a young woman who absolutely adores dogs. She owns a papillion named Louis, a Chihuahua named Isabella, and a Siberian Husky named Koda. Every weekend, she takes her dogs to the dog park, where they love to run, play catch, and meet other dogs. When Judy took her pets to the park last Saturday, she almost lost poor little Louie. She was playing catch with Koda when she lost sight of Louie. In a panic, she started shouting his name and asked other dog owners if they saw her little papillion. After 30 minutes of searching and with the help of one dog owner, she finally found him at the entrance of the dog park, near a small store that sells Louis' favorite treats. Uh, treats. Judy was delighted when she found Louis and bought all three of her dogs their favorite treats.
Okay, that's good. Who else can read it? Who else can read this text? What about others? Hanan?
Judy is a young woman who absolutely adores dogs.
Dogs.
She wants papillion named Louis, a Chihuahua named Isabella, and a Siberian Husky named Koda. Every weekend, She takes her dogs to the dog part where they love to run, play catch, and meet other dogs. When Judy took her pets to the park last Saturday, she almost lost poor little Louie. She was playing catch with Koda when she lost sight of Louis. In a panic,
Sight.
she started shouting his name and asked other dog owners if they saw her little papillion. After 30 minutes of searching and with the help of one dog owner, she finally found him at the entrance of the dog part, near a small store that sells Louis' favorite treats. Judy was delighted when she found Louis and bought all three of her dogs their favorite treats.
Yes, good. Thank you, Hanan. Who else can read it? Who else can read the text? So no one can read it. No one will get the mark for today, only Mustafa and Hanan. Okay. So no one, right? No one wants to read the text. So now let us ask the questions. Who is the woman in the story? So simple and easy. Hanan?
Judy is a young woman.
Judy is the woman that we talk about in the story, right? So the answer is, you can say Judy only. And pay attention that here, since we are asking about a woman, a person, a human being, that's why we used the double-edged word who in this question. So who is the woman in the story, right? We didn't say what, we said who, because we're asking about a woman, a human being. The other question is, what three activities do the dogs love to do? What three activities do the dogs love to do? Mustafa?
They are love to run, play, play catch, and meet other dogs.
Yes, so the answer is they love the activities is that they love to run, play catch, and meet other dogs. These are the activities that the dogs of or Judy's dogs love to do. Right? So here, since we are asking about activities, things, that's why we use what. Now we move to the other question, which says, so easy, right? When does this story take place? When does this story take place? When does this story take place? Mustafa?
When Judy lost her dog.
Yes, of course, this story takes place when Judy lost or loses, since here we're using the present simple since we are telling a story. But when? The question is when exactly? When does this story take place? When exactly? Nur Rakan?
Last Saturday.
Are you answering me or
Answer.
asking me? Yes. So you should say last Saturday, not last Saturday. Yes, it was on last Saturday. So the answer is last Saturday. Since we are asking about the time, the date, so we used when in the question. Right? So when does this story take place? The answer, we can use short answers, and you can say last Saturday. Now the other question, where does this story take place? We answered the question of when. Now where does this story take place? Where does this story take place? What about others? What about others? Noor?
Dog park.
In the dog park. So this story took place in the dog park, right? And this is the answer. And the last question, why is Judy in a panic? Why is Judy in a panic? Mustafa?
Because she lose her dog and she want to uh, search.
Yes, so the answer is because she lost her dog, sorry, because she lost her dog and she wants it back. And this is right. So since here we are asking about the reason for being panic, we used why, which we said that this is a double-edged word that can be used to ask about the reason or the causes of something, the causes behind something, behind an action, behind an activity. So I think that now everything is clear concerning the double-edged words. We knew how to form the double-edged words. We read again and again the we knew how to form double-edged questions, and we read again and again the double-edged words, and now we have an overall idea of how to form them. So that's it for today. So next time, inshallah, we will have more exercises, and in addition to that, we may have a new grammatical topic, which is the future tense, and of course we will have reading again, and I want you to participate. So until then, do you have any question? Nor are you asking? Are you raising your hand? No. So if you don't have any question, it means that we should end this lesson now. So thank you for joining this lesson, and see you next time. Have a nice day ahead. Bye bye.